All right, today we're going to get into something really interesting, the psychology behind being an emotional magnet. So, does this sound familiar? You're at a party, maybe just in line for coffee, and suddenly a near stranger is telling you their entire life story. Have you ever just stopped and wondered, why does this always happen to me?
It's really easy to just chalk it up to being a good listener or, just being a nice person. But psychology tells us there's actually something way deeper going on. This isn't just a coincidence, it's a pattern.
What's really happening is that on a subconscious level, people are drawn to you because you feel like a safe harbor in the middle of their emotional storm. Seriously, you're like an anchor when they feel like they're totally adrift.
And here's the crucial point. This ability, it isn't random, not at all. It's actually the result of a very specific, pretty rare combination of psychological traits that you've probably been developing your entire life. So let's break down exactly what those are.
Yeah, we're going to call these your secret superpowers because honestly, that's what they are. These are the traits that are turning you into this emotional magnet.
Okay, first up, hyper-awareness. Now, this is something that often comes from, well, it's a survival skill. Maybe you grew up in a home where you had to constantly read the room, always monitoring the moods of people around you just to feel safe or connected. You got really good at it, really fast. And the effect of this, people feel like you just get them, without them even having to say much. You're picking up on the tiny things, the way their shoulders slump, that flicker in their eye. For someone to feel that seen, that quickly, that is an incredibly powerful and really, really rare experience for them.
Next, it's very likely you have a highly responsive nervous system. And listen, this isn't about being too sensitive, like you might have been told. No way. It's actually a sign of really high emotional intelligence. It just means your brain is wired to feel and process emotions with a lot more intensity and clarity than most people.
And here's how that plays out for others. Because you're actually comfortable with the full range of human emotion, people can sense that you're not going to judge them or shut down when things get messy. They see you as a safe emotional release valve, a place where it's finally okay to not be okay.
The third superpower is something called stress inoculation. Basically, if you've been through some tough stuff in your past and you made it to the other side, you've developed this amazing psychological resilience. It's like your whole system has been inoculated against stress. Okay, so let's see how this actually plays out. A crisis hits, a lot of people, they panic, they react, they make things worse. But you stay steady. And it's not because you're cold or emotionless, it's because your brain has already been through worse. You become the anchor that helps calm down everyone else's storm.
So, where did all of these incredible skills even come from? Well, the origin story is often found in childhood, and honestly, it can be a pretty difficult one to look at.
Psychologically speaking, this whole pattern often comes from what's called the ignored child dynamic. Now, this doesn't mean you weren't loved, not at all. It just means that your inner emotional world, it often went unseen.
So here's kind of how it happens. First, your own feelings and needs just weren't really given much space. So second, you learned to become an absolute expert at tuning into what other people needed, just as a way to stay connected. And then over time, that survival strategy, it actually turned into an incredible, genuine skill for supporting people.
But here's the downside. This can create a core belief deep down that your own feelings just aren't as important. And while that makes you a fantastic friend, it's also the exact thing that can lead to major burnout if you're not careful, especially in relationships where you're always giving more than you get. But hold on, let's reframe this for a second. Because that difficult origin story, it also forged this profound, quiet strength in you. And that's what makes your support so uniquely powerful and so genuine.
This strength is called a strong internal locus of control. Since you had to learn to be self-sufficient and kind of validate yourself, you don't really crave that validation from the outside world. You can stand on your own 2 feet.
And this is why people trust you so deeply. They can feel it. They can feel that your support isn't transactional. You're not helping them just to get something back or to look like some kind of hero. Your care is authentic. And that is such a rare and beautiful thing.
So, what do you do with all this now? What's the next step? Well, it's really about owning this power, understanding it, honoring it, and, maybe most importantly, protecting your own peace.
Let's just quickly recap what we figured out. Your ability is so much more than just being nice. It's this powerful mix of hyper-awareness, high emotional intelligence, that unique calmness in chaos, and a real capacity for truly genuine support.
And please remember this, your ability to hold space for other people, It is not a weakness. It's not a burden. It is a profound strength, one that was forged in quiet moments and in the tough times that you survived.
And here's maybe the most important part of all. You have permission to set boundaries. Just because your history taught you to be an open door doesn't mean you have to give unlimited access to everyone who knocks. Your peace matters too.
So, I'll just leave you with this question. Now that you can see this part of you, not as some random personality quirk, but as a deep, developed psychological strength, how are you going to choose to honor it in your life, for others, and most importantly, for yourself?